right. In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Good evening. Thank you for coming, people. Wow, what a lovely
Read all about it. Avenger strikes again.
Good evening. Tonight, WBFR, Playhouse of the Year, and our sponsors present a trio of tales of mystery and suspense entitled Vintage Hitchcock. Each week at this hour, we invade your living rooms, providing your radio holds up, and bring you exciting tales of the strange and unusual, dark and compelling yarns culled from the four corners of the world. Tonight, we present 3 tales immortalized on celluloid by the master of suspense, Alfred Hitchcock. The Lodger, Sabotage, and the 39 Steps. Our first play is a sweet, homey little story of intrigue, suspicion, and murder. The cast is a rather small one and threatens to get smaller with every passing moment. The play is entitled The Lodger and takes place in London in 1888. The newspaper headlines scream of a killer on the loose, going by the name of the Avenger, whose 5th victim has just been discovered. As our story begins, we meet Ellen Bunting and her husband Robert, a couple with rooms to let in their modest home in the Whitechapel district. And now, The Lodger.
Robert, what about this Avenger person? He could be the person standing next to you, or maybe the man you bump into. It's a terrible thought.
Yes, if only the police had something to go on. It looks like the Avenger is just too quick for them.
Look at this. They say that the girl he got last night was like all the others. Pretty blonde and had just come from the music hall. Exactly like all the rest of his victims. Described by her friends as a very light-hearted girl. Oh, just a pity.
Ellen, did you ever stop to think who fits that to a T? In fact, fits all the other girls' descriptions perfectly? Our own Daisy.
Well, that's a pretty thought. Well, maybe it's a good thing that she's with her aunt and not here with us. London's not a safe place for a girl anymore.
Just the same, I can't help thinking how fine it would be to have her here with us.
Well, there's no sense thinking about it. We just can't afford it.
Oh, I know that, Ellen, but I hope we could manage it somehow.
How? Haven't I scooped myself half crazy trying to keep us together? Oh, but you don't care about that, do you? Your Daisy's more important to you than I am.
Now, Ellen, that don't sound like you.
Well, I can't help it if it don't. What are we going to do?
Oh, we'll get along. Something will turn up, dear.
We haven't had a lodger for months. No one even comes and looks at the room anymore.
Things will work out, my love.
They ain't never going to work out. Soon we won't even have a roof over our head. Oh, Robert, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to go on.
I know you didn't, dear. It's okay.
I just didn't think. I've been so worried.
Don't go worrying another second, old girl. Why, the first thing you know, you won't be pretty anymore. You'll have your face all wrinkled.
You see here?
Come on, let's see a smile. Just one smile.
No, let me alone. Oh, Robert, who do you suppose that could be?
Awful late for visitors.
Do you think it could be somebody looking for a room?
Well, it might be.
Oh, I wish it were. Then you could have your Daisy back.
Want me to go to the door?
No, I'll go. You just stay right here.
Very well. Now you be sure to get a good look at him before you let him in, dear.
I'm coming. Oh. Good evening, sir.
I saw your sign. It says the other room for rent.
Oh, yes. Well, please, won't you come in, sir?
Thank you.
Oh, it's a horrid night out here, isn't it? It's coming down in sheets. May I take your cape, sir?
No, thank you.
Uh,
Now, I'm looking for a quiet room. It must be very quiet.
Oh, we have that, sir. Just that. Above all, our house is very quiet.
Fine.
Your bag, sir. May I take it?
No, I'll hold it.
Do you have any other bags?
Just the one. Now, if you'd be so good as to show me the room, please.
Oh, yes, sir. It's right up these stairs this way.
Thank you.
You see, sir, it's just me and my husband. And we're ever so quiet, so I'm sure you'll find the room to your liking. Here we are. Oh, I'll just light the fire. There we are.
Very good. I think I like this room.
Oh, yes. It's a very pleasant room, isn't it? There aren't many rooms with such pretty pictures, are there? We've had them in the family for years.
Pretty pictures interest me very little. What does impress me about this room is the very simplicity of it, the bareness.
Oh, yes, sir. It's not at all crowded. Yes.
It would be quite suitable, Mrs.
Bunting, sir.
Mrs. Bunting. You see, I do a great deal of studying in my book here, the Holy Bible.
Oh, yes, sir. Oh, please, let me help you with your bag.
Don't you touch it!
I only wish to help, sir.
Oh, forgive me, Mrs. Bunting. It's just that I'm very weary. I'm very tired. You see, I do a great deal of studying.
Oh, yes, sir, but of course, sir.
He bringeth them to their desired haven. Beautiful words, Mrs. Bunting.
Oh, indeed, they are, sir.
And now I have found my haven of rest.
Yes, sir! Then you'll be taking the room?
Let us see now. What will you be charging me? I shall be staying in most of the time, and I shall be wanting meals.
Oh, we can see to that, sir.
Now, Mrs. Bunting, is 42 shillings a week satisfactory?
Oh, well, yes, that will be quite all right, sir.
Very good. And I shall pay you several weeks in advance. My name is Sleuth.
Mr. Sleuth.
S-L-E-U-T-H. Think of a hound, Mrs. Bunting. And you'll never forget my name. And here are your 42 shillings.
Thank you, sir, thank you.
Now, Mrs. Bunting, I shall require a light supper. Bread and butter, perhaps, if you could arrange that.
Oh, certainly, sir. I'll do that, and if you be requiring some wine or spirits?
Certainly not!
Sir,
I had hoped you understood me, Mrs. Bunting. And I had hoped that you and your husband were abstainers.
Oh, but we are, sir. We don't keep nothing about. I would have had to go out and buy some.
Of course, Mrs. Bunting. You were just trying to be considerate and kind.
Oh, and I hope I know a gentleman when I see one, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, I'll just be away and get your supper.
You stop that, do you hear? humming that music?
Oh, yes, but I...
And music is an instrument of sin.
Oh, yes, sir.
And you did tell me, Mrs. Bunting, that your house would be absolutely quiet.
Oh, but it is, sir. Believe me, I didn't mean any harm.
I believe you. You were just trying to be considerate and kind.
Thank you, sir.
So, he took the room at 42 shillings a week?
In advance.
You know, Ellen, it's wonderful. Do you realize what this means? We can have Daisy back.
Yes, I know. Robert, warm the teapot and put some leaves in it.
Righto. We can have her back with us tomorrow. I was just... You know what? We're not going to worry too much about Daisy falling prey to that Avenger fellow.
Whatever do you mean?
Well, she's not the type of girl who takes a drink, you know.
Well, what's that to do with it?
Something I read in the paper while you were upstairs with the gentleman. They just found out that every one of the Avengers' victims had been drinking. They figure he must be some sort of rabid abstainer.
What a peculiar chap.
What's that sound?
That's Mr. Sleuth. He has a limp and uses a cane.
Why is he pacing around like that?
Never mind that now, Robert. Hurry. Put the butter on the tray. Hurry. And now the tea. Oh, I suppose it's all in order. Robert, open that door. I'll take this up to him straight away.
There you go, old girl. First thing in the morning, I'll go fetch Daisy and bring her home. Oh, it's a wonderful thing, Ellen, wonderful. Now hurry up with this supper, old girl.
Oh, I mustn't do that anymore. Mr. Sleuth?
Mrs. Bunting!
Oh,
You shall please knock in the future, Mrs. Bunting.
oh, yes, yes, sir. Your tray. Well, I'll have that all tidied up right away, and I'll put on another kettle.
That won't be necessary. I've decided to go for a walk. It's a pleasant night for one.
Tonight? Oh, very well. Very well. I'll have this all tidied up by the time you return.
Very good.
Oh, Mr. Sleuth.
Yes? What is it?
Those pictures of the pretty girls. You turned all their faces to the wall.
Yes. I've turned them to the wall because they're wicked and sinful.
Yes, but I...
Don't you agree, Mrs. Bunting, that everything wicked and sinful must be purged from the earth?
Yes, sir.
I'm very glad to hear that. Now, if you'll excuse me, good night.
Ellen rushed to the window to watch as Mr. Sleuth moved off down the street, his single bag in hand and his black cape swirling about him. Finally, he was lost in the fog. She stared after him for a while before doing the dishes and retiring for the evening. And what a restless night it was! Almost dawn before she had finally convinced herself that at most, Mr. Sleuth was a trifle odd. And, paying 42 shillings, maybe he had a right to his strange ways. It was daylight when she was suddenly awakened by the shouting of the newsboys.
Horrible murder! Read all about it. Murder at King's Cross last night. Avenger strikes again.
Ellen was a little frightened to meet our lodger the following morning. She couldn't quite understand her uneasiness in his presence. The lodger's sudden appearance promised to save their household. But where did he go to at night, disappearing into the London fog? Since Mr. Bunting had gone to meet Daisy, Mr. Sleuth ate breakfast alone. Ellen watched him through the crack in the door. Finally, she went in with more tea.
More tea, sir?
No, thank you. You're very kind. But if you'll excuse me, I must get on with my studying. Good day.
Her fear really turned to pity then. He seemed so helpless and tired, and he was so considerate. Why was she so uneasy? It must be all that talk of the Avenger and the horrible murders on everyone's lips. This man couldn't possibly be a murderer. It was all just a coincidence. Besides, she couldn't afford to lose that 42 shillings a week. Around 10 in the morning, Mr. Sleuth left the house, and Ellen decided to go upstairs and have a look about his room. She had to find out what he carried in his one piece of luggage. It wasn't a bag. It was more like a case. Yes, a case for a knife. Ellen rushed up the stairs, her heart beating wildly at the thought she'd had of the case. No, nothing in his closet. She moved to the chest of drawers against the wall. The top one was empty. In the next, there was just some socks and underclothes. The next one was empty. There was only one place left for that small, narrow case. The bottom drawer. And it was locked. She pulled and pulled at it, and suddenly she heard the front door open downstairs.
Oh, Ellen, you're upstairs? Daisy's here.
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh, Mother, it's so good to see you. It's so good to be home. Why,